Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Dancing with the Stars review, my personal opinion and review of Dancing with the Stars. So if you haven't seen it and you've recorded it on DVR, you're gonna see it somehow on the internet later, please get out of this video because it is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Dancing with the Stars and you plan to, check out of this video, go see it, and then come back and check out my review. I must say that this week was the worst week ever. First of all, I don't understand why Sean Spicer is still there. I just really don't. He doesn't dance good. It's been an up and down with him and Lamar, you know, being like 2-point different, 3-point difference of each other. And like I've said before, my heart goes out to Lamar because after what happened to him with the overdose and being in coma and in the hospital, he lost a lot of cognitive skills and a lot of memory. And so he's not as sharp with movements and memorizing stuff maybe as he used to be, even though he's never danced before. So that's, you know, that's to be expected, you know, when something is so new from you, when you're out of your comfort zone, out of your element, and you're trying something so new like dancing, it is really hard. And if you don't have natural talent or any type of smooth movements, you know, and you just need to learn technical steps, then it might be a little easier for those people. But he's never, I know he can be smooth, but his height has been a stepping stone. And Peta is probably the tallest one they had for him, and she's great. I love Peta. She's worked so hard with him, and so the height has been a challenge. And then he has this cognitive loss, this memory loss on top of it. So the first 2-3 weeks, you know, he really had a difficult time bringing in very, very low scores, but his fan base has kept him. Last week, they didn't eliminate anybody because of Ray Lewis being out of the competition because of his injury. So, you know, he was on the bottom there and he got saved because of that, because they didn't eliminate anybody. But I still think every week he was improving. And so I could understand the first 2-3 weeks, these low scores. But last night he came out and oh my God, I cried. I was so, so proud of him. He was smooth. He remembered all his steps. I just knew he was finally going to get some 5s or 6s. I just knew. I was like, oh my God, it was a whole different Lamar. And Peta had surprised him with his children, and I think that uplifted him even more because he was finally being so proud that his fans was keeping him, you know, supported. But when she did that surprise for him, it was just the sweetest thing. And I believed it really pushed him to really give it an extra kick, and it did. I mean, he came out, he didn't mess up, he was smooth, he remembered everything, you know, and of course there's room for improvement, but I believe this was the start of just nothing but great things to come as each week came. But I knew it was a difficult thing. I knew that eventually, considering all the other couples, that Lamar would definitely not make it and that he would be leaving. But I was just praying that he could stay as long as he could, and maybe some miracle, he will just keep getting better and better. I was just rooting for him so bad because my heart goes out to everything he's been through in his life and how he's coming back and he's putting his life and his health first. And he has a new beautiful girlfriend that seems to be really loving and supportive. He has his children in his life. I'm sorry, there's a notification. And he wrote a book, you know, just really expressing himself. And he was just on this road to great recovery. So I was totally rooting for him, even though I knew the odds was against him. But he finally was eliminated last night. It was between him and Kawamo, which this confuses the daylights out of me. They have been so hard on Kawamo, and he's been so good. First they said he was, you know, too tense and then too funny and then all this other, you know, it was an excuse after an excuse. And I could understand the first week you never done this before, you're getting your nerves out, you're just trying to do everything so right that you can't even have smooth facial expressions and your movements are not as smooth. But the second week, every week he's just getting better and better, and he's already smooth. I mean, he's really good at this. And so I didn't understand the harsh scores, but last night they had a guest judge, which is Leah Remini, and they gave him, he did so well, and they gave him these low scores. I mean, I think he should have got higher, and I just don't understand. I mean, I think that should have finally been his 8s, and, you know, he just can't catch a break with these judges, and I don't understand where their heads, like these judges are in a fog or something. It's just beyond me. And Leah Remini, I love that woman. I love her, love her, love her. She spoke up. She had the guts, the balls, whatever you want to call it, to stand up to these judges and say, what is going on? She was like, what? You know, at first, she already had, when Lamar came out, like I said, he was so much better and so much smoother, didn't make a mistake at all. And he still got 5 from Carrie Ann, which was, it's like almost like their comments don't fit their scores. And it's almost like they didn't believe in him. Like, you're eventually going to leave anyway. So kind of, they gave up on him is what I feel. And so Carrie Ann gave him a 5, and Leah Remini was like, what is wrong with you? She like spoke up. She stood up out of her chair and was like, what is going on? And I said, you know, thank God we have somebody that just doesn't want to fit in, or if I say something, they'll never call me back to guest judge or anything. That lady is gutsy, and I so appreciate her for speaking up. And she gave Lamar Odom a 7. And all the other, and Bruno and Lynn gave him a 4 when they just had, you know, it just their comments, they had complimented him. It wasn't like their comments did not match the scores whatsoever. It's like they were in a fog. It was like the weirdest thing. And Leah Remini was like, you got a 7. And, you know, it made him feel, so good that somebody, you know, believed in him and had some heart. And the fact that he was better and smoother and didn't make a mistake, that warranted for at least minimum all 5s or all 6s, or 6s and 5s. But he did not deserve that 5, those 2 4s especially. But I think he could have did a little bit better with Carrie Ann. I just don't understand. And my heart just broke for him, just broke. And then when Kawamo came on, they did it again. The scores didn't match their comments. They're again so hard on him after he's already naturally good, and then he's just improving and just really working on everything that they're telling him, and he just can't catch a break. They gave him some horrible scores. And then I don't know how his fan base is. I guess his fan base is not really there. Yeah, they were on the bottom together. And of course, you know, and I understand this part, the judges saved Kawamo, and as they should, because Kawamo is much better and smoother than Lamar. So definitely out of the 2, Kawamo deserved to be saved. He's just doing amazing. He's not getting his credit due. So unfortunately, I had to side with Kawamo because it's true. He was technically, by points and everything, he was by far better than Lamar. So it was definitely Lamar's time to go and not be saved. But my heart just broke for the both of them. And you can see Kawamo crying. I mean, everybody just, Peter was crying. I was crying over here in the house. My daughter was like, what? You know, like we were just like overwhelmed and just like shocked. It was unbelievable. You have to see it for yourself. Or if you already saw it, you probably know what I'm talking about. It was just unbelievable. And for Sean Spicer to be saved, him and Lamar should have been on the bottom, but definitely Kawamo shouldn't have been in there. And it was like, why does he keep getting saved? And I think this mistake of Dancing with the Stars, the stupid fly, it happens every time I do a video, allowing him to involve politics. I think that should have been one of the rules. You cannot involve politics. It's a really tough subject. It's almost like being a Christian and saying, you know that Dancing with the Stars has sexy outfits. You know that a lot of the dances are very close, huggy, touchy, very sensual, very sexual. You know that there's, oh, this fly. There's possibility of that. So if you're a Christian and those are just things that you're not comfortable with, that you're not willing to do not join Dancing with the Stars. Don't waste your time or the show's time. Do not change. I mean, I love people's faith and religion because I'm Catholic and I'm all about my faith. And I know where my boundaries are, and I will know what I'm willing to do and not willing to do. But if I know that I have a husband and I don't want to make him uncomfortable or my faith uncomfortable by hugging and touching and sensual dancing and wearing sexy outfits, then why would I join the show? I mean, you're just wasting your time and everybody's time. It's just ridiculous. And so I believe with politics, it should not have nothing to do with the show. That it should not be talked about. It should not be approached. It should be nothing to do with politics, so that this is a family, fun, exciting show. And politics and religion are very tough, controversial subjects that we can kind of just leave it aside for a moment. Nobody's saying don't believe in God, don't believe in your faith, don't uphold your values. Absolutely do it. But again, that's not the show for you. And so same thing with politics. I don't believe they should allow him. He went outside to the public and he made signs, Spicer and Arnold, and getting all the people that he felt was his supporter in the administration to now come and involve themselves and vote for him. He should have let his supporters do it on their own. You know, even if they watch the show or don't care about the show, he should have let that be up to them. And he should not have never, ever, 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 ever been allowed to approach anything politically. I mean, because he was already, when he joined Dance with the Stars, it was already a humongous controversy. People didn't like him. People don't want him there because what he stood for in the administration. And so it's like now you're coming to something that's fun, that's happy, that's positive, that's family oriented, that's just something that felt so good to watch has now been tainted by somebody who hasn't been seen good in the eyes of the people, except for his own supporters. And I believe, you know, hey, have your fan base support you, but don't make signs, don't make t-shirts, don't make buttons, don't go out there, don't talk politically, don't mention anybody in the administration. Just leave that aside. Let's come to the show. If you really want to change your life, if you really want to go outside of your element, your comfort zone, and really want to just, you know, bring something positive and happy back in your life, then let all that negativity go. And you know that there's controversy. You know that there's negativity. People were wanting to protest. People were just, it was just beyond everybody that he was on the show. And the fact that he can't dance. He doesn't have technical skills. He's trying his best. He's giving it his all. I can tell, you know, but he can't. And he should have been gone. You know, both him and Lamar probably, but I was rooting for Lamar because I know his good heart. I could feel his soul. I know what's happened to him and how far he's come and how difficult and hard this was. And that was something that they talked about last night. And Peta was in tears. She was like, he's just trying so hard and this is so difficult for him. But the fact that he's not giving up. And then it was just, I was crying. A lot of people in the audience were crying. Peta was crying. Leah Remini was crying. It was just insane. It's like, it wasn't just me feeling this way. A lot of people felt this way. And so they both deserve to be in the bottom, Lamar and Sean. But if you have to choose between Lamar and Sean, Lamar proved last night that he's better than Sean Spicer in dancing, and he deserves to be there. If you have to choose between them two, Lamar should win. If you go by a couple of points that Sean Spicer is leading him, but he doesn't dance better than Lamar. I mean, Lamar's thing was just making mistakes because of the cognitive issues and the memory loss issues. But he came out last night and just blew it away because he did everything so right. So perfect. So he should have got way of a better score than Sean. And it was really weird because they didn't even show Sean Spicer's dance. We rewinded it, went back and forth trying to find it because they showed him on the leaderboard. And we were like, wait, why is he on the leaderboard? He hasn't even danced yet. But then we went on the internet and we saw the clip of his dance, which was Apostle Roble. he was just awful, awful. So there's no reason why he shouldn't have been above Lamar point-wise, especially not this week. Maybe last week, those 2 points ahead of Lamar, I got it. And maybe the week before, but not last night. Lamar should have surpassed him. And so I don't understand what the judges are thinking. And maybe it's not, yes, their points are helping him stay there, but I think more because he was allowed to involve politics and go kind of like a sneaky way. Because other people, they used to say, text our number, call, support us, but they could never go out there and promote, you could just personally go and talk to them, but it wasn't anything political or religious. It was just your fan base, that you had. And they don't do that anymore. So they definitely should not have allowed Sean Spicer to involve politics whatsoever, especially with the controversy with him being there. He should have been like, I've moved on and I'm trying to bring positivity and happiness, do something out of my comfort zone, and that's where it's going to stay. It's going to have nothing to do with what I used to be or what I represented. So I think that's a big mistake on Dancing with the Stars show, and I think it's going to cost them highly. Everybody deserves a chance, and he is giving it his all, and so you can't down him for that, but he does not deserve to have been there this whole time, especially this far along. So next week is going to terrify me, because if he stays there and Dancing with the Stars allowed the political to be involved, the people are going to rise up. They already rose up when Bobby Bones won, but I at least liked Bobby Bones. He shouldn't have won at all, but at least I liked him, and I would rather somebody like him than Sean win, because he was technically better than Sean for one, even though he was the worst out of all the dancers in his season, but he would have been better than Sean, so technically he would have deserved to beat him. And second of all, he's just such a good person. So, but it was a humongous controversy, and I believed it costed Sharna her position on the season, and she wasn't called back. I believe she'll be called next season and other seasons after that. But I think that Dancing with the Stars wanted to separate themselves for 1 second, give everybody a break and a time to kind of calm down and get away from the Bobby Bones controversial win, and then they'll bring her back next season, I hope, because she's amazing. And I don't think she deserved that. They told her it wasn't about that, but I believe it was. And he even went to the office and said, is it because of me that you guys are not calling her back? Please don't blame her for me. And I thought that was very sweet of him, but he knows. We all can feel it that it was that. I would be shocked if I was wrong. But yeah, so if Sean Spicer keeps going on and wins, I think this will be a wrap for Dancing with the Stars, because they have already complained about ice skaters dancing. They feel it's a huge advantage, and it's not fair because they dance on ice. So you don't think they could dance without ice or without skates? Of course, they have an advantage. They had already had a controversy about gymnastics people because they're so flexible and they make movements and are kind of dancing. And so you notice that whenever gymnastic people are there, they do really well. So people are tired of gymnastics people. People are tired of ice skaters. Anybody who's had a professional background in dancing should not be a part of it. I can see if you're taking dancing classes when you were little or young, or you're not a pro, you just have a degree in dancing as far as college, but you're not exactly a pro or something like that. And I even think then they should think about it, because they have a lot of dancing experience. So like my daughter, she's gone to college for 4 years. She's majoring in dancing and theater of the arts. So she would love to be on Dancing with the Stars, and I think they would accept her, but she does have dancing experience. So they would need to think about it, because she would have an advantage. So yeah. So imagine, and the Bobby Bones was the icing on the cake, and now if something like this happened with Sean Spicer keep going and winning, I just believe it's going to be the show will be tainted forever, and I believe it's going to be a wrap. I'm not saying it might not pick up for another season, but I think it'll never be the same again. So they need to really pray about it, think about it, meditate, concentrate, whatever they have to do, and make this right, So last night decision, yes, between Kawamo and Lamar. I think it was great that they saved Kawamo. by far deserved it. My heart broke to see Lamar leave, but I think there's better opportunities coming for him, and this was something that he enjoyed and that he just got experience from, and he can cross that off of his bucket list. Like, I did Dance with the Stars, and he just made so many new friends, and I think he really needed that. So it wasn't a complete loss. So let me go to the actual scores. So Ali and Sasha, there were actually 3 or 4 people that tied for the leader, for the first place position, which were Ali and Sasha, Kel and Whitney, Hannah and Alan, and Lauren and Glenn all had 32 points last night. So they all tied for first place. Even though Ali and Sasha have a total of 56 combined with the week before, Kel and Whitney had 52, and Hannah had 53, and Lauren had 52. So if you combine the scores, the actual first place would be Ali and Sasha, and she did really great. So I'm proud of her. Kel and Whitney, they had a score, like I said, of 32. They tied for first place, but their total combined scores were 52. Cam Pasha, amazing, because she was on the top of the leaderboard last week. I think she was number 1 last week, and she fell down a lot this time. They had to do a, was it an Argentine tango? Yeah, it was an Argentine tango, and you had to be romantic for this part. You had to really connect, really touch your partner. You had to look so in love with your partner. And the fact that she's older than him, like she could probably be his mom, she couldn't pull it off. She couldn't pull out her in love facial expression. My God, this fly is gonna kill me. She couldn't pull off the connecting with him like she's done for the last couple of weeks. I mean, she's one of the older people, and she's really the top contender. And so this week, her face, she did all the steps right, but her face was just like, it was tense. It was like smiley. It was like there was no romance, no love. And I just wish she would have pretended that for once in her life, she fell in love with a young person. I think she mentioned something about has been in a relationship with a young person, but to really say, pretend I'm in love with this person. Yeah, he's young, I'm in love. Our families are against us, but we're gonna fight for this love. And I believe if she would have created a storyline in her head and psyched herself out, I believe she could have did it. But it was just epic fail last night. And unfortunately, it brought her down. So hopefully she can get back on track to her top places as a contender. She got 26 points last night, which is pretty low for her because she's on one of the top spots. Total combined was 50. Then we have James and Emma. Their score last night was 28. Total combined to 51. They did really good. I think he's going to be a contender to win this season because he's just so smooth. I mean, from expressions to technique to just, he looks like a professional dancer. So, but it was low this week. I just don't understand. Total combined score 51. Hannah. Okay, so I had an important phone call that I had to take. So I'm hoping that I'm not missing anything. So I think I was at Hannah and Alan. They were also tied for first place. She did a Paso Roble. The face, again, like Kat, the face expressions just weren't there. She got good scores because obviously, almost bit my mouth. Obviously, she was in, one of the people in the top first place because there were 4 who tied. But yeah, they said that her, Paso Roble, you got to look stern and upset and meaningful and like, I'm tired of this kind of thing. So yeah, she didn't have that. There were smiles in between. She just didn't look, she didn't have the right facial expression for the Paso Doble. And her Paso Doble wasn't all that great. I think it could have been stronger. But nevertheless, it was a great dance. So she was one of the people that got the top scores. Lamar and Peta, as you know, like I said, he did so much better. He didn't make one mistake. He was smooth. You could see he put his heart and soul into it. Peta was so proud of him. And I was so proud. I cried from emotion. And my emotions are all up and down with Lamar. And I was like, I'm so proud of you, Lamar. Oh my God. I was just so hopeful, but he's gone, and we wish him the best in everything that he does. Him and his new girlfriend, my husband is here, are having a new reality show, so I can't wait to see that. Sailor Val did great. Lauren and Glenn also topped for the tie score, and Kawamo did great, but he ended up in the bottom with Lamar. He was saved, Lamar wasn't, so that's how it goes. Hold on. Okay, yep, that's it for this review of Dancing with the Stars week 4. I can't wait to see next week. I hope that I'm not disappointed, emotional, overwhelmed, shocked like I was this week. I hope next week is so much better. My prediction is that Sean Spicer will leave if the judges focus and do the right thing, that Sean Spicer will definitely leave, because all the other couples are great. Now there's no one left that's weak or that has any kind of problems or makes mistakes. I mean, these are all hand in hand, all the rest of them. They are just so close. They're middle to top contenders. The only bad one left is really Sean Spicer, and definitely should be leaving next week. If he doesn't leave next week, I'm telling you, stuff is going to hit the fan. It's going to hit the fan, because all the rest of them are great. All the rest of the couples are great. They've been having amazing scores. They're dancing like nobody's business. And even with the being so hard on Kawamo, if they continue to be that way, I see next week as him and Sean Spicer being on the bottom. And of course, if they got any sense in their right minds, because these judges, maybe they're losing their touch. I love them all, but maybe they're losing their touch. They've been on all these seasons, and maybe it's time to reinvent. I don't know what it's going to take. I would love them to stay because I really love them and I think they're great. I think in the last few seasons, they've lost their touch. They're not scoring like they should, you know, on every single case. They're missing it here and there. And so, yeah, so I hope they're focused next week, and I hope they see things for what they really are, and that they're more fair, and they get from what their comments to match their scores, because it just is making no sense. And the only two I can see having a problem is definitely Sean Spicer, which he can't dance, and he's the worst of everybody who's left. And then Kawamo, because they're being so hard on him, and he's doing amazing, and they're being so hard. So I predict if they continue on this route that they will be the two bottom. And if they have any sense in their mind, they will save Kawamo if it comes down to that. I would be surprised if any of the other ones, because like I said, they're middle positions to top contenders, and they're all so close to each other to the top. So it can only go that way. But as I was shocked and overwhelmed and disappointed this week, it wouldn't surprise me if something went stupid. So I'm hoping, I'm having faith, because I watched Dancing with the Stars from the beginning, every single season. I think there's been a few times where I've been disappointed, where people have gone too far that shouldn't have. Or there was this one girl, I think she was from the Cheetah Girls, was amazing from day one, got kicked off right away, like in the first 2, I think, episodes. And that was a controversy. Then we had the Bobby Bones thing. And then now we have this Sean Spicer guy who keeps staying and doesn't really deserve to stay. So what'll be next week will definitely be interesting, and I can't wait to see it. The voting is really killing me, because we were an hour behind. Because my daughter had to work later, and so we don't want to see it without her. So we were an hour behind, but I should have been within the second hour and enough time to vote. And when I tried to vote, it said voting is closed. And they're supposed to be open till 15 minutes after the show. So I don't understand what happened there. Like I said, we didn't even see Sean Spicer dance. We had to go to YouTube and see the clip of it, because it didn't even show it on the recording. And I guess he was the first out to dance. So it was crazy. We almost thought something happened, that he got kicked out, or did he injure himself? And we didn't know what had happened, and we kept rewinding and rewinding, trying to find it. And no, so it was a lot of crazy, weird things happening, the judges being weird. Everything was just so off and so weird. And I just appreciate my girl Leah Remini for speaking up. She's known to speak up and not have a fear bone in her body, and I appreciate that she was like that, because somebody else would have went with the flow just to not give any controversy, just to not make anybody mad or uncomfortable. Not Leah. That girl has guts. You're all right in my book, Leah. So keep being that way. And I hope whoever is the next guest judge will have some sense too and have guts if they have to be. So, but you know, I still have faith in Dancing with the Stars. I love it. It's exciting to see every season. It just brings the best of people out. It just gives a new experience to people who's never had a dancing experience in their life. It brings people together. It forms new friendships, bonds. It's just all the way around good for humanity. But if the judges keep mishapping and fans keep making it unfair and weird things, then I don't see a great longer future for Dancing with the Stars. So, but I'm going to cross my fingers. I'm going to keep my faith that all will get better. And so hopefully it'll be an exciting, more interesting, unweird time next week. So I hope you like this video. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because it gives you heads up every time I upload a video. This is just my personal opinion, my personal review, how I experienced it, how I saw it. Please don't put any disrespectful comments on the bottom. I will just delete them and block you. So, because I ain't got time for it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste mine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So if you do put a comment, make sure it's respectful, and, you know, we'll take it from there. So into my next video. Take care.